All right, what's up, everybody? Brian here, and this is my real quick thoughts on last night's Bound for Glory. I know I didn't put up a video last night afterwards. I kind of fell asleep and I kind of went to sleep after the show was over. So let's get right into it. We had Rich Swann and Willie Mack pick up a win over Matt Sydal and Ethan Page, and that was the opening match. I thought this matchup was really good. Both teams really delivered. Very impressed with Willie Mack in his time with Impact Wrestling. I think this is like his second appearance. So will we see more of him on Impact? We'll have to wait and see. But he was very impressive in this matchup as him and Rich Swann picked up the victory. Eli Drake issued an open challenge to anyone from New York. Who would answer? None other than James Ellsworth. I was very disappointed with this matchup. Eli Drake picked up the win after two gravy trains to James Ellsworth. And that was pretty much it for that. Afterwards, Abyss would come out and go after Eli Drake after Eli Drake said he had come to New York for Hall of Fame worthy competitors, and stuff like that. And Abyss, who was recently inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame on Saturday night, he came out and wound up putting Eli Drake through chokeslamming him through a table. So that was a big thing there. Tessa Blanchard retained her Knockouts Championship over Taya Valkyrie last night in what was a very hard-fought battle. I thought it was a really good match, and one match that, for anybody that did not see Bound for Glory, I would recommend checking out this matchup because I thought it was actually a really good match. Both women gave it their all, and so hats off to both of them. Moose and Eddie Edwards turned into a tag team match with Moose and Killer Kross taking on Eddie Edwards and Tommy Dreamer. This one, nothing really special. Eddie Edwards picked up the win for his team, defeating Moose in this tag match after Moose was going to go use the kendo stick on Eddie Edwards. And Moose got too cocky and overconfident, and Eddie Edwards rolled up Moose to pick up the win. And then afterwards, Moose and Killer Kross would wind up powerbombing Eddie Edwards to the ring apron from on the outside of the ring to the ring apron. So that was pretty much it for that. Obviously, this feud between Moose and Eddie Edwards is probably going to continue. So another match that I would recommend checking out, OVE took on Brian Cage, the X Division champion, Pentagon Jr., and Phoenix, the Lucha Brothers, in an OVE rules match. I thought this one was a really good matchup as well. Cage took about 30 or 40 super kicks near the end of the match from OVE, and then got a version of a pile driver from Sami Callihan, and that was enough to keep the Machine Cage down for the 3 count. So Sami Callihan hands Brian Cage his first pinfall loss in Impact Wrestling in this 6-man tag team match last night. Another match that I thought I really did not expect, as far as I didn't know what to expect, was the OGs, King, Homicide, and Hernandez taking on LAX, Conan, Santana, and Ortiz in a concrete jungle death match. The OGs had a little bit of an advantage because earlier in the night, apparently King took out Conan and attacked him backstage. And that left, King, Homicide, and Hernandez to take on Santana and Ortiz. And Ortiz and Santana held on long enough. Conan came out to even the odds. Him and King would go at it. And then in the end, it was Santana and Ortiz hitting the street sweeper on King on the bare boards in the inside of the ring to finally put down the OGs in a match that like I said, I didn't know what to expect when it said a concrete jungle death match, and they said there was going to be bare boards, there was going to be no apron, the turnbuckle pads were going to be removed. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect with those, but it was Konnan, Santana, and Ortiz picking up the win last night at Bound for Glory in another match that I would recommend checking out and judging for yourself for anyone that did not watch the pay-per-view last night. So, moving on, we had the Alley Goes to the Undead Realm segment, which was kind of weird and strange. She would wind up saving Kiera Hogan. She would use a small axe to take out some of the Undead's bridesmaids and Su Yung. Then Su Yung or Rosemary would make her return, basically telling Allie, you need to get out of here, you need to get out of this realm and go back to where it's safe, and that she was going to stay down in the Undead realm. James Mitchell would make an appearance telling Allie that, listen, I made a promise to you that I would get you into the Undead realm, but I didn't never said anything about getting you out. And it was just crazy. I can't even describe it. You guys have to, you guys would have to watch it to judge for yourselves, because I have no words for that whole segment. So, moving on to the main event, which was Johnny Impact challenging Austin Aries for the Impact World Championship. This one had gotten personal over the last couple of days, apparently. They had a fight at the Hall of Fame induction for Abyss. They had, Johnny Impact and Taya Valkyrie appearing on TMZ Live the other day, apparently. They had them on TMZ Live. Because of some tweets that Austin Aries had been sending out about Johnny Impact's wife, Taya Valkyrie. And then Austin Aries, in an interview before the match, said that, you know what, have your wife out there, I'll have Moose and Killer Cross out there with me, you have Taya out there with you. The match, I thought was really good. I had no problems with the match. Both guys, really gave it their all to become, Austin Aries wanted to retain the championship. Johnny Impact wanted to win the championship. In the end, it was Johnny Impact hitting Starship Pain on Austin Aries after hitting a brainbuster on Austin Aries to finally score the win. Afterwards is what I think everybody that's Impact Wrestling fans were talking about, that Austin Aries no-sold the pin, no-sold the finish. He got up, he basically was yelling at Don Callis, who was up in the commentary booth. He flipped off the fans, gave the finger to the fans of, while he was walking out. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as far as that whole situation is concerned. Aries has made it very personal with Johnny Impact over the last couple of weeks in this feud, saying that all of a sudden he comes back from doing a show, and then all of a sudden he comes back and says, that the world title is important to him, and this is not a game, this is not a joke, all this stuff. And then he does that last night. He gets up after no-selling the pin. He gets up and just, says, you know what, he just flips off the fans, yells at Don Callis, who is a part of Impact Wrestling Management, all this stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what happens Thursday as far as the fallout from that. But overall, with the exception of the whole that whole alley goes to the Undead Realm stuff they had, and the James Ellsworth being the one that answered the open challenge from Eli Drake. I thought Bound for Glory last night was actually a really good show. Was it up there with Slammiversary? I think it was. I don't think it was better than Slammiversary, but it had its moments. So with that being said, I would say that this was a really good, a really solid show. Another solid show from Impact Wrestling. Hopefully they continue on with doing these great pay-per-views. They are coming back to pay-per-view January 6th of 2019 for Impact Wrestling Homecoming, where they're going to be going back to the Asylum in Nashville, Tennessee. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. So with that being said, for any Impact Wrestling fans that watched last night's Bound for Glory, let me know what you guys thought of the show in the comments below. What were some of your favorite moments of last night's show? So with that being said, this has been my review of some of the things of what happened at last night's Bound for Glory 2018. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.